The House Oversight Committee is voting for subpoenas to get more information on this White House security clearance debacle. Chairman Cummings may even subpoena Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump. Now, Kushner has been breaking his silence. You may know he's rarely heard from, but he went on Fox News to address the worries about this White House whistleblower and concerns about his security clearance, calling some of the objections, quote, crazy. Now, he was, of course, tapped by his own father-in-law as a senior White House aide. His responsibilities range. This goes well beyond the intelligence stuff. There's Mideast peace, there's solving the opioid epidemic, there's fixing the way the federal government works. Kushner, though, does most of these things outside of the media spotlight. We do know that he's spoken with Mueller's team. We don't know if he or his wife are named anywhere in the Mueller report, as I was just discussing with the senator. They may be in the clear on any of that stuff. But now there are reports about how they fare, these big family members in the White House, in public opinion. The New York Times obtained something called E-score polling with numbers on both of them, and it measures basically features of likability to figure out which personalities appeal to different audiences and which do not, the Times writes. And 12% of people say Ivanka has strong positive appeal. Jared falling to a low 6% at strong positive. 36% say strong negative. The highest ratings come on things that are subjective, but again, this is polling that matters in politics. People finding him to be, in their view, insincere, creepy, and even, this is a weird one, overexposed, because he doesn't do a lot of interviews. Someone may have missed the whole report, though.
He got there with flying colors because he believes, and a lot of other people believe, both conservative and liberal, and those in the middle. Jared Kushner. Jared. He did not want me to do that because I saw this beautiful line, and he didn't want it, but other people did. They insisted that I do it, and it was really easy.
I am joined by Jackie Alemany, author of the Washington Post Power Up newsletter, and Vicki Ward, investigative reporter and the author of the right book for this discussion, Kushner, Inc., all about both of them. Nice to see both of you.
Hi, Harry. Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Absolutely. Vicki, does it surprise you to see such a negative set of associations that the public has with these two?
Well, I think it's sort of the beginning of the unmasking, right, of this couple. When they went into the administration, I think the perception of them was very different, right? Everyone hoped that they were going to be a moderating influence, a sort of moral center. But what's interesting about these figures, and by the way, the president will really pay attention to this, but I know because I've been in private meetings with him before he went into office. He really pays attention to things like
this kind of stuff.
Yeah, really
this
does.
Kind of stuff he follows.
He used to brag about his Q ratings all the time, absolutely. So I think what's really interesting, and so the central theme of my book is about how they're not what they seem, they're in disguise, and that's what's made them so dangerous. And it seems like the disguise is coming off, right?
The mask is falling.
The mask is falling. Well, Exhibit A was last night. If ever, when Jared gave the interview to Laura Ingraham, she did the country unintentionally, I think, a great public service with that interview. The idea that he would call a 400-page, the Mueller report, nonsense. The idea that he would laugh about the idea that all our security agencies do not think that he should have a security clearance because of his conflicts of interest and because of his debts.
Do you think this, to use a somewhat British term, this risible approach to the interview questions is the mask falling because it's not a good look?
I think it's a terrible look. I mean, I think whoever advised him to go and do that interview on the same day that Congress was saying that they were going to issue subpoenas into his security clearance should be fired. And that is a classic example of Jared's appalling judgment.
So Jackie, you hear Vicki saying that this is about the mask falling. Or to paraphrase, the rapper Future, who's very knowledgeable about Trump White House issues, mask off. The reference is made to the laughter in the interview. Let's play it so everyone's on the same page. Here was the Jared Kushner clip.
I can't comment for the White House's process. I've been accused of all different types of things, and all of those things have turned out to be false. When I came to Washington, I had a very successful business career.
Do you pose a grave national security concern to the country, Jared Kushner?
Because of the president's leadership, the world is safer today.
What is your assessment of that and the argument that, putting aside style, these individuals have not been wrapped up in problems in the Mueller report as far as we know thus far? They haven't been charged, as I say, and that they're trying to get back on a different footing.
Yeah, well, I think Vicky is exactly right. Jared's response to Laura Ingraham, who might as well be an extension of the White House in terms of providing a defense for a lot of members of the administration, was really telling. Laughing in response to, serving, potentially acting as a national security threat is a response, I think, that indicates this idea that Jared and Ivanka, view themselves in a different light, that they, they do not have to adhere to the same standards as the rest of the administration and the rest of the America, quite frankly. And I think what you saw Jared Kushner doing is utilizing Barr's summary of the Mueller report in an exploitative way that's similar to the way that the president's been using it, which is using it as a blanket excuse to exonerate himself from a lot of different issues that cropped up before the Mueller report was even in the conversation, right? And nationals, the issue of security clearances was been written about since 2017. And it, again, is exemplary of how Jared and Ivanka are, have a different set of standards that the president treats them by and that they, treat themselves by in this White House.
Now, Vicky, I heard you wanted to go through a few more of the E-score polling. Is that right? Your book is out. Well, on the rating of Kushner as, quote, exciting, 1%, glamorous, 1%, emotional. All human beings, fact check, have emotions, but only 1% there. What does that tell you?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's famous for that, right? For having this very calm. I think Michael Cohen in my book is quoted as saying he's flatter than an EKG, flatline. But in a way, that's all a mask. I mean, what I show in the book, that there are certain things that Jared can get really worked up about. I mean, one of them was that Trump needed to fire James Comey when it was convenient for Jared.
Do you think there will be evidence of that in the Mueller report based on your reporting?
I think there should be.
You think there should be?
Whether there will be.
Well, I guess the question is whether Mueller's investigators could report as well as you, if you have it.
Exactly correct.
But we don't know. And we always like to say around here, Jackie and Vicky, what we don't know, we don't know. My thanks to both of you for being in this discussion. Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.